Hello, welcome back to United Way 4 match reaction. It ends at the London Stadium. West Ham won, Manchester United won. And look, I'll be real, it's all thanks to a late equaliser from Benjamin Sesko. But look, before we get stuck in, please like, comment, subscribe, follow our socials, links in the description. This is probably going to be out later than I'd like it to be. But look, we should be thankful for that point. We played poor today. Very poor. West Ham defended well. I thought West Ham actually played well. You know, look, coming into this game, West Ham were in decent form. We knew what to expect. Same as us. Look, we're 5 games unbeaten under Michael Carrick. You know, Strand doesn't get his haircut. And by the way, I said it in the preview. I genuinely couldn't give a shit. Like, I couldn't give a shit. I get my haircuts whenever I want, and so does everyone watching. It's a shame. I feel for the kid, for the lad. I feel for the lad, but I couldn't give a shit. I couldn't. I care about Manchester United getting victories and playing well. So, look, to be honest, it's a weird one because it's a what's the word? Yeah, 1 point gains or 2 points drops. We're back here again. And it's funny because in the first half, and even the second half, especially when West Ham went 1-0 up, but in the first half, we were dominating. We had a lot on the ball. But what we weren't doing is doing a lot of attack, doing a lot in attack. We weren't taking a lot of shots, and we had Cunha playing as a striker most times, or sometimes Bruno find himself there, or Mbeumo, who, let's be real, haven't really got a lot of height when it comes to giving a ball into the box, especially against the West Ham defence. You know, they've big lads at the back, and 2 good full backs as well. But I felt that we needed that Sesko. We needed that Sesko. And look, by the way, I'm not going to be here to criticise Michael Carrick. I think he's done a good job since he's come into Manchester United. And today was just one of those, you know, let's just say we've been here before. We've went on good runs, and we've sort of, you know, had games like this where we played poor, and we've just about got out of jail. Like we got out of jail today, and I feel like, you know, Sesko was a player needed for this game against our block West Ham, who our only decent chance of at least putting the ball in the back of the net is by getting it in to a player like Sesko, who, say what you want about him, he's a tricky player to deal with. He really is a tricky player to deal with, good or bad. Because even sometimes as United fans, you know what to expect from him. And that goal as well, it was well placed. It was well placed. But that West Ham, I just want to talk about the West Ham goal. Look, there's the stats if you want to have a look. I got most of them on foot mob, so they're all, you know, legit. The goal that West Ham scored, and look, I'm not a professional footballer. I'm sure you watching are professional footballers if you are, and what you do watching me. But, you know, even a footballer, just a footballer, if you play the game, we've all played the game, yeah? I sound like Graham Souness here. But we've all played football. I played football. You played football. People who don't like football have played football. What Shaw did for that goal was the bounce. The bounce. And it's funny because when you years ago, you know, or even when you're in school playing football with a couple of mates, you'd never let the ball bounce, especially when the opposition player is looking all guns blazing, darting towards you, especially a player like Jarrett Bowen. And instead of Shaw, look, I like Shaw. I really do like Shaw. I do, and there's a lot of people today. Look, he didn't play great. I didn't think anyone played well today. I thought fullbacks were poor. I thought Maguire done well. He came off, and when he came off, I'm not sure who he said it to, whether it was Kobe or Casemiro. Look, I'm not a professional lip sync around like that, or lip reader, sorry. But look, like he said, mentioned so about his hamstring. So look, we play Everton 14 days time away from home, who lost 2-1 against Bournemouth, and Jake O'Brien will miss that game. I swear every fucking team we play this season is missing a player before he gets the player sent off before the players. So I don't know what that is. But look, you saw that bounce. You can never let that ball bounce. You can't, even as a kid, even as a 5, 6 year old, you never want to let that ball bounce. As soon as he lets the ball bounce, Bowen sees the green light. He's gone. He is gonzo. Bowen's a good player. And I always said if West Ham go down, he'll probably end up leaving, but I don't know. Maybe he's loyal to his club, and fair play if he is. And then ball in, and Souček, good run, 1-0 West Ham. And then you sort of think, shit, because I was talking to one of my cousins at half time who's a Manchester United fan. I said first goal is crucial. First goal is vital. Whoever scores first can orchestrate the game. And West Ham, sit back, park the bus, and fucking let Manchester United tell us, because we trained and we worked hard for this all week. Well, for the last couple of days. And obviously, many people's worry coming into this game was, can we play 3 days after we've already played? And I said in the preview, I said, well, if we want to be in the Champions League next season, you're going to have these games where you're going to be playing Saturday, Tuesday, Sunday, Wednesday. If we're not capable of doing that, well, then we shouldn't be fucking competing to finish in the top 4. It's as simple as that. It's going to be a huge summer. And I wouldn't say it's a reality check. I wouldn't say that, but it just goes to show how quick we can go back to playing shit. But again, we're struggling to break down that low block. I look at playing Cunha, Ahmad, and Boom. Playing Mbeumo or Cunha as a striker against a City or an Arsenal or a Spurs. We'll go City Arsenal. That's okay. That's perfectly fine, because you're going to be sitting back and then counter. Well, you're going to want to have that pace. That's perfectly fine, because they're teams that'll play a high line, and there's a good chance you're going to get in behind. So I feel like in this sort of game, we sort of can't do that, because they're going to play that low block. You're going to be forced to get balls into the box. And the thing is about West Ham, they were happy to let us play on the wings, because they knew they have no options in the box. And, fair play to Michael Carrick as well. He brought on Sesko. Should have brought him on at half time. Look, I'm not going to criticise fucking Michael Carrick. Some people are, some people aren't. I just think sometimes the players it's on and off. Maybe he did get it wrong. Maybe Michael Carrick did get it wrong, and this is the joy. This is the people that want Carrick to be the next Manchester United permanent manager. We're gonna have these setbacks, and it was just a matter of when. We're in a honeymoon period. We beat City, Arsenal, Fulham, Spurs. And some will probably look back at the Fulham and saying, yeah, we lost, we blew a 2-goal lead, but we won. We needed a late winner. Spurs, we needed them to get a man sent off to eventually break the deadlock. but I still think we played well in them games. Like, it's probably hard, it can be hard to play against a 10-man, because then things change completely. Obviously, you prefer to play against 10 men than 11 men. I understand that, but what I'm trying to get at is Sesko for me should play against Everton, because they're going to play a low block. They have the likes of Tarkovsky. Obviously, Jacob Ryan be out for this game, but I think he sort of plays as a fullback for them. But they have they have tall centre backs who, again, they'll play that low block. They'll let you have the ball. They'll go to a 4-4-2, 5-3, 4-4-1. We faced this Everton team before and we lost. So we're looking for revenge, and we play Sesko in that game. But what pisses me off is when we haven't got a tall 6'5", whatever you want, striker on the pitch, we give the ball into the box. When we have a tall Sesko on the pitch, we don't give it in. I don't know what the fucking story is. And I remember when Ron Rasmus was playing for us, he wasn't getting the saves, and Sesko got the saves in that game in the 95th minute when he got the equaliser. Obviously, Casemiro scored offside. But again, it was a game where we said that we had to be patient in. We needed to be cool, calm. We're going to have to deal with that West Ham counter-attack. We can't do any silly mistakes. And the goal that they get was down to Shaw letting the ball bounce. And then no one picks up Souček running in. He made a decent run in, and he puts the ball in the back of the net, and it's 1-0 West Ham. And it's a mountain to climb. And yeah, the game was pretty much all Manchester United then. And again, the balls into the box weren't great. We were starting to force the ball into the box. We were starting to do silly passes. We were losing the ball in shitty positions. West Ham put away before we scored. Could have had that game wrapped up about 2 or 3 times. The 2 times I can remember was when Callum Wilson was through. I swear that fucker was slow, but he found a burst of pace. Must have lost a couple of more pounds to add a bit more fucking pace to his strengths. I don't fucking know, but he found pace there, and he goes for it. I think Leach was on him, Shaw was on him, Euro was on him, and he got a shot on target. No, he didn't. Sorry, he didn't. It was blocked. He could have squared that ball. So that's down to him being greedy. And then he was through again. He was offside, and then Lamont. So, I think fucking Traore they had chances to even get call that game done. So that's what I'm saying. Sesko saved us. Poor performance. Have to be time for that point, because we knew it was going to be one of them games. We knew we had to be patient. And I mean, look, we've got Liverpool something to celebrate about, because Strand isn't going to get his haircut now. But we'll give it to them. We'll give it to them. They've had a shit season. They're 6th and we're 4th. So shut the fuck up. But look, enough of them. But yeah, look, Ahmad, he wasn't great today, but no one was, and I'm not going to pick out players like Mbumo, Cunha, Ahmad, Bruno, because no one was good today. I mean, Shaw got man of the match on FotMob, but I don't know how you can give it to Shaw. Maguire probably would have been up there. Kobe, probably have to give it to the man who got the equaliser, don't you, Sesko? But I give it to Leach. But look, again, I say that, then no one really that I've looked at today made me think, okay, this is our only hope of getting something. I think actually Sesko and I mean, that's what goes show how poor we played. I'm giving a player who got like 25 minutes or whatever to his name and scored the equaliser, and it was Sesko. It was Sesko, but Ahmad at the end was true on goal. It was like 30 seconds to go of normal time. And instead of him just going for the shot, because Yellow lovely, could just try to drop it into that bottom left hand corner, tries to give it to Sesko, who had 2 or 3 players around. Just go for the shot, and look, who knows? We could be here 2-1 winners, but unfortunately, that wasn't to be. So everyone was poor. Everyone was poor today. Everyone was poor. If Sesko comes on literally at half time, it could be a different game. But then you're looking at it as if we didn't give the ball into the box enough, and if we did, it was stupid balls. We're going over. I mean, how tall do you think Sesko is? Fucking 20, fucking 10 foot tall. Like, fuck's sake, like, yeah, I thought fullbacks were poor. Wingers were poor. The midfield was scrappy. Senny Le Mans was a bit shaky at times. I'll be fair. Centre backs, the pace saw West Ham's pace saw for us on the counter. And yeah, I mean, if I had to make changes for the next game, I'd probably bring in Mazraoui, Sesko, and I'd probably leave it at that. I'd probably leave it at that, to be fair. I hope Maguire doesn't have an injury. But look, I'm going to give it to West Ham. They defended very well. They defended very, very well today, and they played well. They probably feel hard done by that they didn't get the 3 points. I would, to be fair, I would. But, I mean, that goal, yeah. Shame we didn't win, though. Could have been fucking... I mean, where are we now? We're still fourth, because Chelsea's lost a 2-goal lead against the Leeds, so they got a point. So we're 45 points. 2 points behind Villa. Liverpool are 6 points behind us. They play Sunderland tomorrow. So I mean, Liverpool playing Sunderland away, that's not going to be easy for Liverpool, especially with how teams went. And I'd probably say that player of the season, Szoboszlai, is missing for that. So yeah, look, Chelsea play Burnley next. Villa play Brighton tomorrow night. But look, regardless of what happens in the games over the next 2-3 days, we'll be four. We'll still be in the top 4 come the next Premier League game week. We might drop out because we play on the Monday, but we should be beating everything away. But the way if we play like the way we played tonight, yeah, I don't think so. You can only get lucky. You can only get results like this so much, especially when you play like that. But if we played like we did in the previous games before today, yeah, we should be averaging. But who knows? But yeah, Sesko needs to play next game, and Mazraoui for me. But I thought Euro done well when he came on too. Player that sort of hasn't really got a lot of game time. He's sort of been the player that would come on to, pretty much drop into the back 5 to secure the win. He's not a player that would play a lot of minutes, but he played a decent amount of minutes against West Ham today. Sesko as well. So Sesko and Mazraoui players, and some would probably give an honourable mention to Euro as well. But if Maguire's fit, I don't think so. But yeah, look, shame not to get the win, like I said, but we should be thankful for that point because it's not probably the most ideal result in the world if you want to keep that top 4 status pretty decent. But look, Chelsea didn't win. We should be thankful. We got lucky tonight. We got lucky. We should be thanking God. We should be thanking the Lord above, because a lot of things could have not went that way tonight, and I'm thankful they did in a way, maybe. But yeah, you need to figure out how to fucking break down that low block. We still struggle with it. We still struggle with it. People are talking about characters, character. You still same players that played in the Ruben Amram. Shut the fuck up. And play Sesko next game, and don't play like that. You have 13 days. If we play like we did tonight against Everton in 13 days' time, just literally 2 weeks, it's literally 1 day off, 2 weeks, I'd fucking lose the plot. Because there's no excuses for that game. No excuses whatsoever. This has been the match reaction. It ends at the London Stadium. West Ham won. Man United won. Sesko, late equaliser. Thankfully. Like, comment. Let us know your thoughts on the game. Subscribe. Follow our socials. Links in the description. And yeah, I shall speak to you all. Well, I'll speak to you, 13 games. Yeah, I'll do a bit of content between now and then. Yeah, definitely. But look, thanks for watching. I'll speak to you all in the next one.